Man, honestly, you're going to increase the real estate rates at SFN New York by those words, man. Give our audience some key insights or lessons that you've gathered, all from your events, from your meetups, and all the breakfasts that you host out there in New York.
Long we are trying to keep it short again because people's attention span is so bad. And that's it. Please don't stay in your house. Step out of your house, get out, meet people, changes your life. Completely wasted my time over here in the city. But then I was like, okay, I have to start taking this shit seriously.
Today we have with us all the way from New York the founder and CTO of Context, which is an AI education platform providing personalized learning. And if you talk about startups and AI a lot and you love doing that, this conversation is going to be really helpful for you guys. And I welcome Somya Gupta to the AIBROS Show. How are you doing, Somya?
I'm doing good. Firstly, Kev, Observe, thank you for the invite. Honored, love what you guys are doing. And yeah, it's a nice Saturday morning here in New York. Actually, lovely weather today. It's like more than 20 degrees. A little hot. I'm
Mm-hmm.
used to the cold more. So, but yeah, excited to talk on this podcast about the company, AI, and everything else.
Let's get the conversation started. I think we should brief our viewers what exactly is context. So I would like to ask you to tell all of us what exactly is context in simple terms,
Hmm. Yeah,
and what do you guys mean by fully AI taught courses at Context?
yeah. Oh, awesome. Yeah, sure. So yeah, I'm gonna give an elevator pitch, I guess. Nothing new for me. So context is in the space of AI and education.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so we are trying to solve two problems. Creating courses is hard, and providing personalized learning is even harder. So we are building an AI powered platform where professors can create fully AI taught courses. Now, how it
Mm-hmm.
works is that professor can come to a platform, say what they want to teach, who is it for, and upload all the materials. It can be PDFs, books, articles, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And our platform will ingest all the data and using AI generate the entire course structure and content. And since we have data on each student, we can really personalize and tailor learning to each and every one of them. Because based on their learning goals, needs, and preferences, we can cater their learning needs. And when you ask fully AI taught courses, that's I understand. Many people ask the question, "What is fully AI taught courses?" Because on our platform, we give professors the entire control of creating the entire course structure and content. We provide them with all proprietary tools to create personalized quizzes, projects, case studies. And since from the learners and we have a data on each learner, we are able to provide personalized learning. And our AI is also not giving them content. Our AI can also teach them. So we have a conversational AI aspect, which I'm very bullish on conversation and voice AI. It's becoming a big thing in all industries.
Mm-hmm.
And education, to provide personalized learning, it is the way to go. So we also provide that. So our AI teaches the students, evaluates this learner's progress on at each and every step. So you as a course creator or professor has knowledge and update on, okay, how my students progressing, are there any pain points they're struggling somewhere, and see the entire learning journey of each and every student that's enrolled to your course.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So you take some suggestions, some feedbacks when the student enters the platform, and you use that data to personalize the content provided by the professors. Is that the thing?
Yeah, you could say in a way, yep. So when a student enrolls in a course, what happens is we first onboard them. So, as part of onboarding process, again, we have a conversational AI interacting with the learner. Imagine, an academic advisor interacting with you, trying
Mm-hmm.
to understand and know you better. So,
Mm-hmm.
in a similar sense, we interact with the learners, ask them, okay, why are they taking the course? What are their end goals? What are their learning preferences, needs? And we also plan to implement the near future where we extract some more data. Like imagine we have access to a LinkedIn profile, we can get
Mm-hmm.
data. Okay, like for example, you are a student, I can get data on okay, Kef has gone to this college, he's majored in this, then Kef worked so and so company as let's say a software engineer, CAF has these skills. So the more context our context has, no pun intended, on the learner, we can really personalize learning more. And in the near future, we are also looking to implement things where you can give. We already have this feature where you can, as a course creator, give like behavior instructions to our AI. Okay, you can tell the AI, okay, this is how I want you to teach the students. And we also want to give more control to students. Let's say, if you're someone who loves the AI to be talking in a certain manner, or teach me as if you're like Feynman or things like that. You can like really hyper personalize learning to the most granular level, and that's what true hyper personalization is. Because the biggest problem in EdTech has always been trying to personalize learning, even when the content is great, it becomes overwhelming for students, let it be online or in person. It's not that the professor's not teaching right, or it's not that the content is not right. It's just that it's not tailored to you. And that does not mean that, you know, just because it's not tailored to you doesn't mean you're a bad learner, right? The same learner, if they get the right medium of instruction, the right content, truly personalized, they can, score all four GPAs. They can do well and they can pick up topics and actually become a good learner and not remain behind. So that's what you're trying to do.
Mm, sounds good. So, what kind of courses are what kind of courses can students find on Context? Is it just the technical specific, or there are more
Mhm.
other domains are available, or more other exams targeted?
Right. Oh, good question. So how we are working right now is we are in a closed beta. So we have
Mm-hmm.
three universities that we are piloting with.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have two professors, individual professors, course creators, who want to sell courses on a platform to anyone and everyone. So imagine platforms like Udemy, Teachable, Skillshare.
Mm-hmm.
And
Correct.
then I think, do we have any other user persona? No, we have these two user personas. So one is like B2B and the other is B2B2C. So we have
Mm-hmm.
these closed beta, and each of them are creating their own kind of courses. The university people are or the institutions are creating it for their students, and then you have these course creators who are creating it for everyone. So it's right now it's not like Coursera, Udemy, where you go and you find all kinds of courses. But eventually, as we grow, we'll have more course creators who'll be creating more high quality, accredited, credible content and courses, and then you'll have more plethora of options, and you'll have more courses coming up. And I think the best part is, since the course creator and they have full control of what they're creating, it would be like highly accreditable materials, very credible materials, and uh, at the same time, it's very high quality and it would be personalized to each learner.
Mm. Great, great. So, let me get this. So, this content stays at Context, and students access this content at Context itself, and this is not on any other learning platform like Udemy or Coursera. This is
No,
not at those
it's
platforms.
it's our own platform. No, yeah, that's right. It's our own platform where
Mm-hmm.
a course creator comes, they upload their materials, create a course, and then
Mm-hmm.
students enroll, get personalized learning. So it's our own platform where the entire course is being generated, and then student, because we have all the tools available that can like help both the educators create the course content, and then the students to enroll and get personalized learning, because we believe, and that's what I think almost everyone in the edtech space is getting wrong. They're just building mere chatbots, like know Khan Academy, right? So they have Khan Migo, good tool, but again, it's a chatbot that helps students and clear their doubts. And then you have other platforms like magicschool.ai, that helps you that helps a professor create like quizzes, rubrics, assessments, and so and so. But there's no unified platform that helps both the course creators create an entire course, and then also teach students and provide them personalized learning. And that's what you're trying to do, because I think the way forward in edtech is to have both educators and students, not to replace anyone, but help and empower both of them, so that we really revolutionize the space, because it's been long pending.
Mm-hmm. So you guys have added the student in between the professor and sorry, you have added AI in between professor and the student, and the AI then filters out and modifies the course according to the requirements and the teaching patterns of or the learning patterns of the student consuming it, right?
Yep. Yeah, you could say, AI is in a way a mediator. Yeah, because AI is
Okay.
also helping the teachers get the content, then, curating it for each learner. So yeah, that's a good way of putting it. And another way, like we like to put it, it's like our platform is a way to help scale your learning. You have great content.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that creating
Mm-hmm.
courses is tough. We make it easy and we
Hmm.
make it even easier to personalize and scale it. So that's what we do.
Amazing, amazing.
So one question, Soumya, with respect to the courses when we are discussing. So podcast is also a medium now to learn new things. So is there
Yeah.
something on your platform with respect to the podcast?
Oh, you know what? That's a good question. And actually, I just implemented this feature like 2 days ago,
Mm-hmm.
where
Uh-huh.
each learner can like generate podcasts. Not long. We are trying to keep it short again because people's attention span is so bad. So of course, I'm not going to create a
Mm-hmm.
1 hour or 2 hour podcast. But
Exactly.
you as a learner, like for each topic, can create like let's say a podcast of 10 to 15 minutes. And
Mm-hmm.
since we have data on you, we can like really tailor it to. So let's say you're taking a course on entrepreneurship, right? And you are a CS student who has no background on entrepreneurship. So when teaching a topic, like let's say, how to talk to customers, how to build a business model,
Mm-hmm.
that podcast or basically any content, since we have data on you, we can really personalize it, give you analogies related to computer science, AI, because we really learn well when we are given analogies of things that we already know. Like, let's say, I know you're a Marvel fan, we give you references based on that. You like truly understand and you'll also enjoy learning because
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I've understood, working on context for the last 8 months almost is that to really make learning fun, it's not about, making like a game. Again, people can have different opinions, but I feel at least for adult learners, serious adult learners, I think this is how I want to put it. Serious adult learners, for them to really have fun in learning and to actually learn something, it's not about bringing badges, some fancy animations and stuff, but if you can make them truly understand a concept by giving them analogies and using principles of pedagogy, that's I believe is the fun learning and gamified learning. Just putting gamification for the sake of it, at least for adult serious learners, does not work. So that's what we are trying to do by really hyper personalizing.
Amazing. So, I am actually interested in knowing the age group split. So, amongst your
Okay.
learners, how many are the young learners? How many are the adult ones who are working professionals? So, how does that split goes? And I believe that this split also describes the interested candidates in the learning methodology. If I'm
Mm,
wrong, you can correct me up. So, I would just like to know
absolutely.
that split of your
Uh,
platform.
No, that's a good point. Mostly I would say like it's college students, right? Because we're working with
All right.
universities and the professors who are going to create course and sell it. In
Mhm.
their case, maybe you'll have some more adult learners, beyond the college age. You'll have working professionals. But mostly right now, so the age group can be like from 17 to like let's say 24 or things like that when you include
Mhm.
like people doing a master's degree too. So 17 to 25.
Mhm.
Um, and the point that you brought up is correct. Learning methodologies would vary from age group to age group. Now, let's say
Right.
you're a 6-year-old, 7-year-old kid. So you like those cartoons and animations pop up and, actually being gamified, being given badges. So more like a video game, right?
Mhm.
So that's
Mhm.
not what we are trying to do because we also believe in uh, learners of this age, kids from like, let's say 6 to 14 or 15,
Mm-hmm.
they require more handholding. So having just AI wouldn't cut it out. And, for them, having more gamification absolutely makes sense. But here, when I described, adult serious learners, I feel it's more about just making sure the content is put in such a way where they can actually digest it and it's not overwhelming. Because the biggest reason people give up, and that's what we found out when we were researching about online learning platforms like Coursera, Udemy, almost 90% of people drop out and of their online learning courses because it's just that the content is so like so many long video lectures or just a lot of text being thrown at you they're great content, mind you, really good content being made by some of the top professors and industry professionals in the world. But
Mm-hmm.
it's just so overwhelming that people cannot digest it. So if for these adult serious learners, you can provide information in a very digestible manner, in a personalized manner, that's what makes learning fun and easy for them.
Hmm. Sounds impressive. Sounds impressive. So, I am actually curious. Like, since you described it so well and your idea is so good, I want you to tell us how did you validate this idea when you were in the initial phases, and like uh, how did it go? How was the idea validation process for context?
Right. I mean, oh, it's changed so much. We've pivoted so many times, and when we started, we were so different. So, I mean, to just give you some more background, it was my co-founder's idea. He also went to NYU, met him at an event, and that's a I tell people, go to events. You don't know, your life can change there. So, his idea was different, but I think the mission has always been the same of hyper personalizing education. The mission has been same. It's just that whom we've targeted, how we've gone about it, the product, and anything and everything else has just changed along time. And finally, we feel now we are in, I think, the best direction that we've had up until now. And you never know, maybe we'll pivot again. It's startups are so unpredictable, and you have to be open to it. So like coming back to your question when you asked of how do we validate this idea, we started more like as an online learning platform. So imagine Coursera, Udemy. So we were trying to target that space where we realized that by talking to a lot of users, and we did a lot of customer interviews. I think we did more than 100 customer interviews trying to understand their pain of online learning by using platforms like Coursera, Udemy. Although you end up finding good content, but what are the pain points? And then we realized a couple of things. First, of course, not personalized to them. They wanna like let's say achieve A, but they take a course which is not related to what they want to do, and end up learning something which is maybe not useful to them. Second, like I already mentioned, content is overwhelming. It's great content. It's just that long video lectures and so much text or readings, it just makes learners feel overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Third, um, it's very one size fits all, right? Because
Hmm.
great content is being generated and then just put out for everyone. Everyone gets the same content, but not everyone learns in the same manner, right? So it's just that you have such great content, but it's such a one size fits all, which never works in education. And the super smart ones go through and they're able to learn, digest, and do well, but then others are left behind. It's not like I mentioned, they're not bad learners. It's just that it's not for them, right? It's not in their style. You give it in their style, something they can digest, they'll also do well. They'll get 4 GPS, right? So I think these are the three main problem statements that we validated by doing these interviews and realized, okay, we are heading we are heading somewhere. We're heading somewhere, and of course, we pivoted. So we pivoted from online learning platform. So we were more B2C. We did well. We grew to 3,500 users within 4 months with $0 in marketing spend. But what we realized is that there was low willingness to pay. Why? Because um, when you even put out great content, I think people don't want to people are not willing to pay you unless you don't have credibility. Like people pay for courses on Coursera, edX, Udemy because you have some of the top universities in the world putting their courses out there. So they have credibility, and that gives them an incentive that okay, this certification or this learning is valuable, right? So they're ready to pay. But I mean, I one of a bunch of broke college kids building this. So even if we build a good learning experience, it's just that they wouldn't want to pay for it. But since I was building in public, people saw what we were doing, and people liked the learning experience. And then a couple of professors and universities came to us, and they were like, "Hey, we like what you're building. If you can build us a platform where we can create the courses by uploading our own materials, and then our students can enroll and get the personalized learning that you've been trying to provide, that would be so cool." Like, you know what? Okay, people are coming to us with their own problems. It's the best thing a early stage startup can also. It's the dream. So start of this year, we pivoted, built a platform from scratch, came up with an MVP, started demoing, got a couple of universities as pilots. Few professors want to start selling courses. So yeah, that's how the journey has been in terms of, validating the idea. But the early validation which we did is where we realized that, there's this gap in terms of personalized education. It still stands out, right? It's just that how we are doing it and where we are targeting is different, but the underlying foundational problem is still the same.
Hmm.
Okay. So you mentioned about Udemy, the feedback you have taken from the Udemy courses, the people who are
Hmm.
doing that, and you also mentioned other big platforms who are into the learning space. So what
Yeah,
do you feel about the competition in your space? Like, let's say if tomorrow some platform like this adopts this particular type of learning, so what's the analysis on that? Like, where do you see the competition currently in your
right.
particular idea?
No, good question. I think EdTech is such a competitive space. Like, so many people are building in this because they also see the potential. I think with AI, so many people see the potential of what can be done. And it's a tough space. Like EdTech has always been a very tough space. VC shy away from it because it's just so tough to reach insane levels of profitability because B2C is hard, and even in B2B, working with universities is very very hard. Just the sales cycle is so slow. It's
Mhm.
really tough. It's a very tough space.
Hmm. Hmm.
And like I already just mentioned that, there's a lot of competition, right? But I feel what we're doing right is, and which others are getting wrong, and I'm very confident about it, despite so many people every day, someone or the other sends me, hey, dude, there's someone building this, looks similar. But then when I look at the platform, it's not because I think I just mentioned a few minutes ago, people are either building just chatbots, helping students with their assignments, building assignment helpers and things like that, or just good interactive experiences, or learning platforms on that forefront, or they're just building mere tools where professors can create content, right? But they're not building this unified platform trying to help both educators and students. So we have this unique insight because we've been working on this problem statement for so long and we've pivoted so many times. We truly understand the pain points of both the educators and students and how to put the content out there, how to execute everything from the product standpoint, uh, right? Like to the most granular level, from even a UI UX standpoint to the product, to the content, to how the AI is behaving. I think we know nuances, so many nuances on different spectrums. We are very confident that even when someone new comes up or tries to come up with something unique, we know they're not doing it the right way. And
Hmm.
the technology is there, but it's just that we have such insights that we know how to do it, and that's why we are very confident. And at this point, I've stopped caring about competition. Honestly, like yes, 10 more players can come, but I know they don't have a good product because just their approach is not right. They have the technology, it's just that their approach is not right, and that's the insight we have. We know the approach, we know both the problems from an educator standpoint and from a student standpoint, and we know how to build a really good learning experience.
Okay,
Hmm.
so it's good to understand that you have the complete background and understanding of the idea which you are behind, and
Yeah.
we see that you have also been attending numerous events and meetups also. So, what
Mhm.
is the feedback on your product so far on that on those meetups and meetings?
Right. Yeah, I've been, going to events has been an absolute game changer, and that's why I tell people, you're in New York City, best city in the world. You have so many events happening out there.
Mm-hmm.
It has, I think New York has the greatest density and diversity of industries and people. You cannot
Hmm.
get it anywhere else. So, and the events that happen every day and night. That's why I also encourage people, please go to events. It's been a life-changing experience for me. I took this risk of starting something of my own after going to events and meeting so many cool founders and people in the startup ecosystem. I also met my co-founder through an event, so that was really great. And I've been hosting events of my own too. Like for the last few months, I've hosted like almost 20 events. I've been hosting an event every one event every week. I also hosted an event just last night, so it was a mixer at a bar here, and just trying to bring people to. I love meeting people, bringing all of them together. I really believe in the startup ecosystem in New York City. It's already the leader in all the industries in the world, and I think in tech it's the second biggest. And I truly genuinely believe that it can be the biggest tech startup ecosystem in the world.
Mm-hmm.
uh, just need to promote more entrepreneurial spirit and help the community out here. And that's what I'm also trying to just be part of that. There are also other great event hosts and organizers doing this, and trying to grow the ecosystem. And also to answer your question in terms of the feedback, when I go to events and I meet people, tell them about my idea, and I think that's been so helpful. Especially when I was like for the B2C side, when I was building that, I was building in public. I would like send it out to people whom I met at events, like, hey, please try it out. And that's how we grew our user base, and people loved it. People gave a lot of feedback, good, bad, ugly. They gave all kinds of feedback to us, but I think that really helped us. So, going to events just helped me build the network, and also putting myself out there on LinkedIn helped me build not just my network, but build trust and credibility, which is very important. And I think LinkedIn is such a powerful platform along with events.
Yep.
You build trust and credibility among the community over here.
Great, great. So, so far we understand the complete roadmap for context, the product which you are trying to build, and the long-term vision also. So, are there any plans to raise funding on it, some capital in the near future? And if there are, so what are the plans and how do you plan it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We are definitely looking to raise right now because we've had this traction. Um, but like I said, it's a tough and competitive space, and we want to build some bring more hands on deck.
Hmm.
Um, because we it's just been me and my co-founder who built it out. I mean we also have an intern who's been helping us really build the platform, been super helpful. But we need more hands on deck. I think in two aspects. One is of course development. Build a very robust and an awesome product with great UI UX. So someone who can help with development and great UI UX, because I think both are very important. And build that entire learning experience, a good experience, I think, both for educators and students. So build that great of a platform, and also someone to help with marketing, especially when we want to go to this B2B2C route where we have post creators creating and then publishing to anyone and everyone. It's just that to reach to so many people, I think we definitely need help in marketing. Going viral is a part of it, but just good marketing and putting good content out there will help us grow the platform and become the go-to learning platform. So that's what we are trying to do when we are trying to raise funds to just accelerate development. I think we made good progress. We have good direction, good traction, and now it's about just moving fast, onboarding as many people as we can, and taking up there, having seven figures of ARR. That's what we're looking.
Okay, great, great. Best of luck for that.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
now let's transition to the some personal areas you have been into, like your studies and all.
Hmm.
So we have like checked your LinkedIn and we saw that you have done bachelor's in electrical engineering,
Hmm.
and then you did your master's in computer science. So
Yeah.
there has been a shift. You have pivoted from electrical to computer, and then
Hmm.
you started the development towards software and AI and all. So, what
Yeah.
motivated all these shifts or pivot points?
Right. I think yeah, did my undergrad in electronics actually, not electrical, and electrical would have been even harder, I guess. But
Hmm.
I didn't like it. I didn't want to do it. I'll be honest. I wanted to like even my undergrad. I wanted to do my bachelor's in computer science. It's like my parents said, "Oh, there's so much scope in electronics. Do it. It will be good." And I took it, and after listening to them, and then I realized, okay, no, never listen to my parents. Never listen to my parents. So yeah, I made the decision. But I like jokes apart, I did still have a good time. Learned a lot of things, worked on a lot of hardware stuff. During my undergrad, I interned at this health tech startup, helped them build this IoT based product, which we deployed in over 80 schools and hotels in India. This was during COVID, and I think this really helped us. I mean, this really helped me, understand how is it to actually go from zero to one, build a product from scratch, and build something meaningful and valuable that people love it and pay for it. I think that really gave me the first taste of startups, and I was like, you know what, this is so fun and cool. And then, of course, once I graduated. like I said, I always wanted to do computer science anyways, and I'm a self-taught coder, so I got a job as a software engineer at Ford Motor Company. Worked there for 22 months. Had a great experience there. Had a lovely team and a great manager under whom I worked. Learned a lot of things, both personally and professionally. But then I always wanted to come to New York, do my master's in computer science, and then I got into NYU, moved here fall of 2023, and yeah, I've never looked back since then. It's been such a great experience coming to New York. I think that's been an absolute game changer for me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
my trajectory of my life has completely changed, like 10x, like 100x, since coming here. Like I said, the city drops on you, and I've just grown so much personally and professionally. And that's why I tell people, and the importance of going to a big city. And like, I think New York is like arguably one of the best places to build and grow your career. I think in any space and any industry you are, because like I said, it has the greatest density and diversity of industries. So yeah, this journey has been great. It started with something else, and now I'm doing completely different. I don't think like even a year and a half ago, if you had asked me if I'd be doing this, like no, I wouldn't be doing this. But here I am, and life changes. But I think overall it's been a great and a humbling experience. Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
So you, so Soumya, I actually want to ask this to you. You got my
Hmm.
attention when you said that your life changed when you went for your masters, when you moved to a big city, when you moved to New York, right?
Hmm.
And so my question is that what value do you feel higher education, especially studying abroad, adds to an individual's journey when it comes to networking, when it comes to exposure to different businesses, different opportunities, learning, and exposure to real life problems. So
Hmm.
how does it help, how does moving out to abroad for higher studies helps an individual in these areas according to you?
Right. No, a very good question. And my answer is going to be very biased. Because I'm very pro New York, and I feel like US is one of the, I think US is the greatest country to build, because they're just open to all. And yeah,
Hmm.
you have all this immigration stuff happening and all that. That's why I don't watch news and all that. But still, it's the most open country and the greatest country to go and build. Especially business. I don't think you get that anywhere else. And when it comes to higher education itself is valuable. Um, and some people say it's a complete waste of time. Some people say yes, it's the best. I kind of in the middle, like it's good. It depends on where you go, honestly. I mean, if you're going to go to some random college in some random town, I don't think it's going to be valuable. Like, I think you have to be in a place where you have the best of the best people there. And cities like New York and San Francisco are that, the, the most elite people here. So you gotta move. Like if you're going somewhere, like it can be higher education, maybe it can be for work too. If you're going somewhere, I think you have to move to a big city. It doesn't make sense that you spend that money, come to US, but you go to some random town uh over here or even to any other country. So that's why, like I said, I'm a little biased towards like a city like New York. So moving to a city like New York and going to a good college, and I do feel college matters to a certain extent, and more than education, it's about the network. Like you also mentioned, like it's all about the network, and and if you get into Stanford, yes, absolutely, please go for it. Like you go to a whole different league, because the alumni there in colleges like Stanford, Harvard, and MIT, and even NYU is just so great. It's different and opens doors that you could have never imagined. That even you'll be like, oh, this even exists. It's that great. So I tell people, I was also having this conversation with a good friend of mine. He's thinking about masters, and I told him upfront, if you're coming for masters, please go to a big city like New York or maybe SF. If you're going anywhere else, you're most of it just wasting your time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because you gotta be around those builders, those elites, the rich, the insanely successful people, and you only get those in like big cities like these, right? And it you get so much learnings, not just professionally, personally, because I feel New York in itself is such a great space. As I said, it's a melting pot. You have people from different cultures, backgrounds, and industries. You just learn so much. You get different perspectives. I have friends in different industries like finance, real estate, tech, of course, fashion, music, art. You just meet people of different backgrounds, you learn different and new perspective, and that just opens so many opportunities. You're not, you're not doing something, you're not doing just that one thing. It's not, maybe not just tech, or maybe not just music, right? You have anyone and everyone here, and that's opens so many doors for you. And that's why networking in a city like New York is such a game changer. And that's why I tell people, and my advice, people who are looking to do the masters, please go to a big city, because the value is not just in the college and the education. It's very minimal. It's more the network within your college, and even more than the city. That's a game changer. And I feel everyone should experience this life. I tell, every young person should, experience that hustle of city like New York. Come here. It's tough. It's not going to be easy. If it were easy, everyone would do it. But I feel everyone should try experiencing it. And I think you become a different person. You become a whole different beast, both professionally and personally. And but you got to be ready for it. The city absolutely humbles you, and you have to be ready for it. But if you're open to learn, and you embrace the challenge, I think you will grow as a person, both academically, personally, and professionally.
Hmm. Man, honestly, you're going to increase the real estate rates at SFN New York by those
Oh
words,
my
man.
God, dude, it's already so much. Oh my God, if I end up doing that, people are gonna come be running behind me. Oh yeah,
You,
but
you, you
yep.
you ended up adding some dollars to that, man.
Yeah. Sad, but yeah.
No, but
Oh yeah,
Yep.
he
Yeah, people coming here, yeah, the rents are crazy. So yeah, be ready for the rents are crazy.
yes, yes.
yeah. Be ready
Yeah.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
it
uh,
reflects in Soumya's personality. If you say whatever he mentioned about the cities, it reflects in your personality. Like you have learned a lot of things and you really understand what you are building. You have been
Yeah.
building those connections and
mm-hmm.
everything. So that completely gives us a clear understanding what kind of uh,
Yeah.
benefits it has on an individual. And another
Yeah,
day, I
absolutely.
was also like listening to someone like I think Alex Hormozy that the biggest
Hmm.
quantum jump if you want to do is something is related to you should change your location and that too
Oh,
in a place where you should be in. So I think these two
true.
cities are very
Yeah.
good.
And you guys would have heard of Nawar Ravikant, right? He's a legend here
Yeah.
in Silicon Valley, and he says some of the most important decisions in life you'll make. I think he said two or three, and I think one of them was where you choose to live, right? I
Mhm.
think that's one of the
Mm.
most like that, along with whom you choose to marry, but that comes later. Is I think such an important decision, and absolutely is a game changer. And like Hormozy mentioned, and even this is good saying, right? It's all about your network is your net worth. You are the average of five people you surround yourself with. So,
Mhm.
um, y-
Mm.
moving to a big city like this automatically boosts you up in terms of in every aspect of your life, right? Because it challenges you. Like it's not an easy place to be in, right? You, I
Mm.
mean, I was reading this fact the other day. Like one in every 23 person in New York is a millionaire, right? And it's a city of 8 million. That's crazy. The concentration of wealth and success that's here in a city like New York. It's so great, and I think that's why I'm moving to the city. Yes, it's expensive. Yes, it's hard to live. Yes, it has its problem, but still such a great experience.
Mhm.
Both like I think from yes a professional standpoint and also from a cultural standpoint. Like it's wonderful. I think everyone should just experience a city and a country like this. Both from a professional and a cultural standpoint. It's very important to build life experiences, and it really changes you as a person. So yes, I'm absolutely
Mm.
pro on moving to a city like New York. I'm very pro New York on that, and changes you.
Amazing. Amazing. So since we are at a point where we are discussing about the surroundings and the impact that it does
Mhm.
the impact that it brings to an individual, I want to know your perspective. Since you have been into edtech and you're integrating AI into that and you're doing a
Mhm.
fabulous job into that, I want to know your perspective about the integration of AI in edtech. How does it differ in when you see it in New York and when you see it in India? So how does that
Okay.
differ in both of these places?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. Yeah, the difference over here. and India. No, I think in general, firstly, like India's startup ecosystem is growing. I think I was reading this some other day, and correct me if I'm wrong. Like India is right now the third biggest startup ecosystem in the world, so it's
Mm-hmm.
doing good. Yes, it has its problems and all, but I think overall it's heading in the right direction. The economy and the startup scene. I think people more and more. We still need to change our mentality a lot, but we're still in the right direction. You have so many great companies coming up, and eventually there'll be more innovation happening. Recently I was reading up, there's just some controversy going on, that India doesn't innovate so much. Was it one of the ministers who said that? I don't know. And then some entrepreneurs got offended and all. But I
Yeah.
still feel, it's India's overall still in the right direction. Like I compare this like just a few years ago, like it's completely different, head in the right directions. So much entrepreneurial spirit is just there generally in India, and it's growing more. And innovation will, of course, come along the way. I feel, of course, we have to be more open. Like like I said, we should promote more entrepreneurial spirit among our country folks. I'm gonna call ourselves out. We still lack that. There should be more of a builder spirit, and we should if someone in our country or our people are doing good, instead of bringing them down or criticizing them, I also see and read on news, founders of such great unicorns like Zepto,
Mm-hmm.
Zomato, they get criticized, they get trolled. I feel that's just so bad and disrespectful. They've done so much, they've helped the economy, and they're building such great companies. We should support them more. The more you support them, and the more you also get inspired from them and build companies, it's just going to help the Indian economy more, right? And
Mm-hmm.
could be an even bigger startup ecosystem and even bigger economy, right? So I think that's one thing. And talking about AI and I'll say AI in general, and then maybe in EdTech. And I think India has been adopting AI. I see that. Yes, we are not building foundational models and all that, but I feel India's how do I put this? It's a country of now 1.4 billion now. Oh, that's a lot. And so you can build so many AI on the application layer and AI services. I think there's a big potential there because you already have some of the most cutting edge innovation that's happening here. So rather than building foundation models, just building AI services and AI on the application layer has so much potential for so many new startups there in India. And in terms of EdTech, that's an interesting question. I've not kept much track of EdTech there, but I do see some growth that's there in EdTech. I do read now and then, people coming up. There's still not been a lot of integration of AI, is what I feel in EdTech in India. Still a bit more traditional compared to here. Here you have just so many companies trying to bring up AI actually in almost all industries and of course in tech too. I still feel India is still behind, and there needs to be more adoption of AI in tech. And I think for that it has to start from an individual level and from an institutional level. The colleges and schools have to embrace AI. I think that's the first step, right? For AI to be really adopted in edtech, colleges and schools have to embrace it, right? And unless that doesn't happen first, the adoption of AI and edtech and building really great products and companies out of it won't happen. So the first step would be, educating people, telling them the importance of and the potential of AI in education, and them embracing it, and that will help grow. And India can really have that revolution of AI in edtech.
Hmm.
Yep.
Interesting point of view. So let's jump towards something which I found out on your LinkedIn. So I was really stalking on your LinkedIn, and I found something really interesting that uh, you were selected as you worked as an AI business fellowship at Perplexity AI, if I'm
Mhm.
not wrong. Yeah. So can you please describe us what exactly this fellowship was, and if someone who feels that they can apply, how can they apply or can get involved in such programs?
Right. So this initiative was by Perplexity. I mean, the forms are closed right now. I think it was way back in February they were accepting, and it's it's just trying to bring some of the top minds in AI together. And if you're someone in the AI space, like either building or working somewhere, um,
Hmm.
this fellowship is about. trying to get knowledge from some of the top minds in the industry. Like you'll have panel sessions and workshops being conducted by some of the top minds in AI, and you also have a community. So it's more of a community where you can learn from some of the top people and network in the AI space. So it's more of a community thing, and I feel that's what's happening now. Companies are not just building great products; they're trying to build a community, and to really grow and to sustain. It's about not just growing a great product, building a great product, but it's about building a good community so that people know and the word spreads. And I think, for example, Notion. That's what Notion did. Right? They they not just built a great product, they built a great community, and that's why they're the biggest, uh, one of the best productivity slash note taking tools, right? So,
Yep.
and I think that's what Perplexity is trying to do. That's what my experience has been. Like, I think they've hosted just one session. I know, looking forward to more sessions. Hopefully, they host some in person SF. Never been there, so maybe that would be also a chance to go to SF and experience life over there.
So how can someone get into such programs? Like, where did you get this news that how can you get?
I think they had open applications back in February. I applied. Of course, you have to fill a form, and then there's a vetting process. You get selected, based on your profile and what you're doing, I guess. So it was simple. So I think maybe the Perplexity might come up with something like this again in the future. They're doing different programs. They also recently came up with a Perplexity for Startups program, where if you get selected, you get like free credits, and you can use their API. If you're building your own product. So I think just keep watching out. Different companies like keep watching out some of the top AI firms here in the country, and Perplexity, OpenAI, everyone's doing some programs or the other, or some communities, and you can really look into those and see if you can get in and just be part of the community and be around the right people.
Great. Great. So we saw that you have recently attended, I think, podcast on feedback loop, and
Right.
yeah, so you have presented context over there, I think, and
Yep.
you have got some feedbacks maybe. So can you just share with the audience like what is exactly feedback loop, and then what the feedbacks you received from there, and what has been a change or in the product after that?
No, 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 good question. Yeah, feedback loop is great. I mean, and I think that's what I love about the startup ecosystem. You have communities like these. So it's been run by this gentleman called Sherwin,
Mm-hmm.
a good person. Met him a couple of times. So it's basically they do it every Tuesday. So they also have this kind of podcast like setting. It's a very beautiful office space in Flatiron. And what they do is they bring six founders. Each of them pitches for 5 minutes to a VC. So they get real-time feedback from some of the top VCs here in the city, and of course Shovin himself.
Mm-hmm.
And so they pitch for a minute, then they talk about the startup, get feedback, and I think it's so good. You get it for free, like you're getting feedback from some of the top minds here in the city about your startup. What you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and you're sets in the right direction. So that's what they're doing. Every week they bring different VCs as guests. I think it's good. For me, it was this gentleman called Marty. He's great. I think he's a partner at Adventure Fund, and he himself is a founder now. He's also right now running his own B2B SaaS company. It's called Agree.com, free alternative to DocuSign. He's great, and he's grown. He's already grown to like 30,000 users, so he's doing fantastic over there. And I got great feedback from him. And so Context back then was a B2C platform. So this was way back, like last fall. So it was B2C. Uh, so I was doing like different things, and I think I got great feedback in terms of the approach I'm taking.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think I got great feedback of whom I'm targeting it, how am I placing it, like how am I marketing it. I think I really got good feedback. Okay, how do I present it? How do I pitch? How do I position myself? I think that's a very good insight I got from them. How I'm just looking to position myself, and then also got good feedback, which I didn't expect in terms of the user experience, and how a learner would want to learn on that platform. So I think that was great feedback, and I did take a lot of that feedback and try to pivot a bit. And I think this was after my first MVP had failed, and I got this feedback, and you know keeping some of that feedback in mind, we built a beta version which did good, and which I said that was the one that grew to like 3,500 users. I think that was really cool, and yeah, I think I do encourage people here in the city to go to events like those. If you're an early stage startup founder, trying to get feedback, trying to understand, okay, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing right? How am I positioning myself? And I think that's why communities like these are so great and really helps the ecosystem over there.
Yeah, yeah, sure. It's really nice to get a feedback indirectly from the VC. That's really
Yeah.
giving a good direction to the product. And
Yep. Absolutely.
okay, moving to your LinkedIn, we have been observing on the LinkedIn profile of yours, like you have been active on LinkedIn as a founder, and you have
Yeah.
been doing things as built in public. So, what
Yep.
kind of ROI or some tangible outcomes have you seen from that kind of content creation or being online on LinkedIn? What's the ROI? Yeah.
Oh, no, absolutely. I think it's been so valuable. I think LinkedIn has been a game changer. So when did I start like taking LinkedIn seriously? So I came to New York fall of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my first semester, I'll be honest, I wasted my first semester. Didn't do much, just went to classes, chilled with friends. Completely wasted my time over here in the city. But then I was like, you know what, okay, I have to start taking this shit seriously, start taking myself seriously, and I'm at such a place, use this opportunity. And that's why I thought, okay, the first two things I did was take LinkedIn more seriously and start going to events. And these are the two things I did. And LinkedIn has been an absolute game changer. I'm also not on any other social media platforms. I was like, I'm on
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn. I want to do something in the tech space and, of course, more on a professional space. So for me, it just makes sense to just build on LinkedIn. So I started posting content, uh, and, the whole intention. And I had this conversation with a very good friend of mine who's in Chennai. He's a pilot, and now he was a ex-pilot, and he's running his own company. A
Mm-hmm.
super smart guy. And we were talking about how important personal branding is, and I think we should really work on building and growing it. And I think that conversation was a game changer for me. And I started taking LinkedIn more seriously. I started posting content, and I'll tell you the advantages of it pretty soon. But before that, how I started was, first I thought, okay, what do I start with? I mean, it's like, okay, I want to post content, but what do I post? Then I was like, okay, I'm at NYU. I'm living life here, have this experience. And there are people who also want to come to NYU, understand more about it, how I went about the process. So I thought, okay, let me start sharing my experiences of just moving to US, moving to New York, and NYU in general, and
Mm-hmm.
that attracted that, and I got initial traction, and I got some attention there. Students started reaching out to me like, hey, please help me out with this, and I started helping them out. So that was the initial start to my personal branding. And then when I started going to events, I started posting about it. So before I was like the NYU guy, and now then I became the events guy. Okay, this guy just goes to a lot of events in the city. I started meeting people, and then it became a network effect. Meeting people in person, they see my LinkedIn, they follow me on LinkedIn, and then their friends of friends follow me on LinkedIn, and it became a network effect, and
Mm-hmm.
started growing. Then I started context and started posting about that journey, about both building context, my experience building it, product updates, uh, and yeah, these were the things I started doing like last summer, and people really liked that. And I think that was the like turning point. Like people really loved that aspect of mine where okay, there's this guy who's come for his master's degree and then stuff, and then looking for jobs here. He's like trying to build something of his own. Is he crazy or something, whatever? But people started liking that content, and it was such a game changer, and I've stuck with that, and I've also added few things which I'll come to it later, and then people start reaching out to me, dude, okay, how do you start this company? Even I want to do, like, people who are in India and who have not yet come to US, who just maybe gotten admit, they're like, bro, I also want to start a company. How do I go about this process? And I was like, you know what? Okay, this is so cool. Like, I just one person sharing my experience is like kind of inspiring these people in a way to start something of their own and take that leap of faith. I was like, if there's a community where you have this community of builders who are doing this, how great that would be. So then I started hosting events. This was last October. I started hosting in real life events, and in the last few months, I've hosted like 20 events. And then of course, I started posting a lot about my events. And if you've seen my recent LinkedIn posts, it's been mostly about my events and now
Yeah.
and then about my startup and
Mhm.
AI and stuff. So I think it's been such a great experience, and that's helped me grow my following. Before I had like hardly not even 1,000 followers, and now I have like 4,500. Still a long way to go. But yeah, I think it's been such a great experience, and it's such a hack. And I feel, and I tell people, LinkedIn is LinkedIn. Any social media is a marketing platform. It's not a social media. It's a marketing platform. You build your brand, you build trust, credibility, and it opens doors that you would never have imagined. Like I've gotten so many opportunities. I mean, you guys reach out to me on LinkedIn. Yeah, that's how
Right.
we're doing this
Right.
podcast right now.
Yeah.
I've done multiple podcasts before, mostly through LinkedIn, done events, done stuff, got intro to potential customers, I've got intros to potential investors, and all of that has happened through, of course, my events. I still feel primarily it's been my events and the people that I meet in real life, because there's nothing that beats that. But that coupled with, they first like me in person, then that coupled with my like brand on LinkedIn has helped me so much, helped me grow so much, helped me build trust. I think that's been a game changer. Like, and I still tell people like on LinkedIn, only 1% of people are creating content, so it's still pretty new. It's like it's not that you're late.
Mm-hmm.
It's still pretty new. You can still start creating content from today. It can be anything. Start with anything. I started with totally different. Like, I started doing with my experience at NYU. I don't do that anymore, but that helped me get started, right? And I always tell people, starting is always half of the work done. So please start posting something or the other. People will in a way find value. You can then always, of course, pivot. You realize, oh, maybe I should post about this. Then you'll start posting about that, and then you realize, okay, maybe I should also post about this, and then you'll find, okay, you know what, this is what I'm going to stick to. But at least start, because 99% of the people don't even start. So you start, you start doing something right, you'll figure it out along the way. Nobody has got this from day one. You'll have to figure it out. But it's still pretty early, still pretty new. You can jump on the hype train or whatever you want to call it, and really grow your personal brand. And it helps you professionally and personally. So that's I'm very pro on LinkedIn, and it helps, one of the best platforms to, and the greatest ROI in a platform to build your personal brand, and help you both professionally and personally.
Hmm. Amazing, amazing, amazing insights. So, since we have been discussing about your LinkedIn habits, your LinkedIn game, as you just mentioned about,
Hmm.
so as an entrepreneur myself, I would like to know this from you. What do you think can be the key habits or rituals that every entrepreneur in their journey should follow or should stick to, which can get
Hmm.
them, way ahead of other entrepreneurs who are not doing that? So let's say you mentioned that you should be proactive on LinkedIn. That will help you in your marketing strategies, and that will help you build a community. Then
Yeah.
you mentioned that attending events will help you a lot. Networking will help you a lot, right? So, what do you
Hmm.
think are some rituals that entrepreneur should definitely follow in the journey?
No, that's a good question. I think. I mean, first, of course, like your customers, listen to them, your product. Uh, at the end of the day, like you can do 100 other things, but if you're not building something that people want, it doesn't matter. So, the first and foremost thing is that's why just listen to your customers, be flexible, be ready to, like, as an early stage startup, you're gonna pivot. So always be ready for it. And be obsessed with the problem rather than your idea. I think initially when we started and our first MVP failed, we were more obsessed with our own product and our idea, like yes, this is the way to go. But we realized no, okay, you have to be obsessed with the customers' problems and keep listening to them constantly. So yeah, listening to your customers, trying to build a great product, working with them closely, that helps you in terms of your business itself. And then there are other things that you can do, of course. Um, Trying to build a community, and not from I'll be very honest, like all these events that I've been doing, it's not for growing context, it's not for my business or for my personal gain. I've been doing because I just love the startup ecosystem here. I love the city. I love meeting founders. I love meeting people who are in the startup space. I just want to make friends. Like I moved here like just 20 months ago. So I'm here to make friends and have fun. I go to events, and reason for me events have been so high ROI is because I go to events not with the intention of getting someone's LinkedIn, not with the intention of meeting a potential investor, not with the intention of meeting a potential client. I go to these events or I host events just to meet people and have fun, make friends. I just go with that. I go with that mindset, I'm going to a bar and I'm going to have fun. That's the mindset I go to these events. I actually, and I didn't have this before. I didn't have this mindset before. When I started out, I had a more transactional mindset. That's why I didn't do well. But the moment I shifted my mindset, it's been a game changer for me. And that's why I tell people, go with this mindset of, you're just going to have fun and make friends. And I think for me, personally and as an entrepreneur, that's made such a difference. And build a great community. I have made so many great friends, so many people I know, so many people who know me. And then on top of that, yes, I think I'm very pro on building in public. Some people have different opinions. Some people are not into building in public, but I feel at least for most of the startups, I don't know, unless you're doing something revolutionary that has to be protected and and everything. I feel it just makes sense to build in public, and LinkedIn is the best platform to do that. I've heard even Twitter is good. I've not personally used Twitter. And I like to keep myself focused, so I don't want to have multiple social media platforms because I don't have time
Mm.
because my time is still primarily into building my own product. So I can't be here managing multiple social media platforms. So for me, I know LinkedIn is the highest ROI. I just focus completely on LinkedIn in terms of creating content, putting something out there. May not be perfect, but I just try to post consistently. And it's been like I said, it's been a game changer for me. So I think as an entrepreneur, was first and foremost your own product, your own company, and your customers are the most important. And be flexible and
Mm.
open to pivoting. Be obsessed with the problem and be obsessed that you're going to solve it one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Network, not to get investors, but just to make friends and have a good community around. Because you need, when you're so, working so much and it's stressful, it's a lot, right? You need the right people around you. So I think just you have to be a good person. That's what I tell people, just don't be an idiot. Be a good person. Be a good person to hang around with. Be a good vibe, and despite all the hardships, you're gonna enjoy life. Like at the end of the day, if someone asks me, yes, I'm absolutely enjoying my life here. Great city, great people that I've met, and
Uh-huh.
I love my life here. Absolutely, I've never been happier. So I think that's why having a good community and being a nice person in general is just so important. And other habits like it might sound basic, but many people don't do. Go go hit the gym every day. Try to avoid negative news and media. If possible, just quit most social media unless you're a content creator. If you're a content creator, makes sense. Else, don't use social media. It's not valuable at all, right? And
Mm-hmm.
doing such things just clears your mental space so much and
Hmm.
helps you focus. You know? So yeah, I think it's not just there's no one size fits all solution. There's no one thing that will fix everything. I think there are so many different small things that you have to do that then compound and help you do something really good.
Mm. Interesting, interesting, definitely. So, since we are so much into this networking and meeting people around and
Hmm.
making friends in the space that you are in, so I want you to tell us how. Let's say if someone who's watching this from New York or San Francisco, right?
Hmm.
So how can that person get the information about such networking events or such meetups of the industry or the domain they are interested in? How can that individual get the information?
Good question. And there are so many platforms. And the top, my go-to is there's this platform called Luma, and I think it's there. Even back in India, you guys have Luma, right? And that's such a great platform to discover events. That's why I host my events. That's why everyone hosts their events. The best platform to find events, and you can find all kinds of communities. There are calendars, there are communities. You can just find, whatever is your community, and it's not just for professional events. Honestly, you'll find pickleball clubs, you'll find basketball communities, running communities,
Hmm.
um, you know, and here in New York, you have like, people interested in art. There's a community where you do art gallery hopping that's so unique. There, there's a tennis community. Like, There's a pickleball community that I love. I play pickleball now and then with them. So I think
Hmm.
those kind of platforms. So Luma is my go. There are other platforms like Eventbrite and Meetup. Not a big fan. They have terrible UI UX. Not very event host friendly. So Luma has become the go-to platform to discover events. You know, and see. And I think the best part of a city like New York is no matter what your niche is, you'll end up finding a community for that. It's that great here. So go to a platform like Luma, try to find people. And once you meet people through those platforms, like you go to those events, meet people, then you get invited to other WhatsApp groups and stuff, or other Slack communities, and then your own community grows, and then oh, okay, this one is hosting this one is hosting that. So it's all about getting into those communities, and Luma is the best way to discover events. So it's out. That's why I tell people, like, everything is out there. You just have to go and find. It's like out there. It's easy to access. You just have to get out of your house, go access those, go to these events, meet people, make friends, have a good time, and you know build a good community.
Hmm. And other than Luma in India, like I'm specifically asking for the Indian community as well. So,
Mhm.
do you know some platforms in India which can really benefit the Indian audience?
Um, as far as I know, and because it's a bias I have, and I primarily use is
Yeah.
Luma. Like I said, there are other platforms like Eventbrite. Eventbrite is also good. Meetup. I think Meetup has this community thing, so you'll also find a lot of communities on Meetup. It's just that
Hmm.
Luma has taken over, and in the last one and a half years, Luma has become like the go-to platform. But I think these are my top three platforms. There's another platform. They're based in US, so I don't know about India, but it's called Super Momos. Again, you can find events there. But I think still Luma is the go-to platform. Luma is like I think almost all over the world. So yeah, definitely check out Luma.
Definitely. So, just one question, then I think we can wrap up this conversation. Although I don't want to, because I'm learning a lot about networking and entrepreneurship and startups from you. But like, I would like you to, give us, like, give our audience some key insights or lessons that you've gathered all from your events, from your meetups, and all the breakfasts that you host out there in New York. So, with all the fellow entrepreneurs, I just want you to give a gist about how this, what have you learned from all these things?
I think with events run so many things. Geez, where do I get started? I think first and foremost, like, we are social animals, right?
Right.
I think we crave, being around people, being part of community, and your mental health will be way better,
Hmm.
and you'll be more happy and positive in life when you are around people and you're around the right people. And I think that's where, people, especially people of our age, we young. I assume y'all are also like 20s or 30s something people, right? So we are
Right.
also
Yeah.
young. And you know and there's this what do you call it, like, lonely epidemic or lonely pandemic, among people our age, and I feel it's because it's kind of their own doing, like, honestly, like, I believe we as individuals have control over our thoughts and our actions, and it's about what actions we take is the state of mind we end up being in. And I feel so many youngsters get it wrong in terms of just mindlessly scrolling on social media, not doing the right things of actually stepping out of their homes. And even if they live in a city like New York, they're still in their homes. Like, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna be depressed. Yes, you're not gonna have a good state of mind. So go to events like these, and you not even go to network like a tech event. Like, it can be anything. Like, go play basketball if you love running. Go freaking jog and run. But go to events like these will actually, first and foremost, I think the most important thing is get you good friends, a good community, and I think most importantly, you'll be in a better state of mind. Like, I've never been happier and never been in a better state of mind than I am right now. Like, the last 1 year has been a game changer for me, and that's come from, like, going to events, hosting events, and like I said, I already mentioned before, and going to emphasize it so much. Please don't go with the transaction mindset. Go with this mindset of trying to make friends. That's when you'll truly feel that these networking events are game changers. Because when you go with a chill, relaxed vibe, because a lot of people go to these networking events with a zero sum mindset. Okay, maybe I'll do this for someone and they'll do this for me. What can I get out of them? And this kind of zero sum transaction mindset never works. People detect that, and you'll never make good friends, and you'll never have a good time at events. So go with this positive sum mindset of, okay, how can I help that person? Is there any way can I help them, get them some intro, or something like that. And thirdly,
Mm.
I actually like this book, one of my top five books. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Mm-hmm.
Read that book, try to implement learnings from that, go to events, and try to be a charismatic, a good person, and talk to them. And you easily make friends. I so easily make friends because and I'm just a good vibe, and that's what people tell me. So try to be a good vibe, try to be open minded and have fun at these kind of events. You'll end up making good friends and good community. And in terms of hosting, you know I think hosting events has become so easy. You have platforms like Luma where you can just post your event. You have when you go to events and you build your own network, people know you, and then when you host events, people come to your events too. And just have a theme of, and it can be any theme. I think I'm not gonna give a lecture on, how to host events, the nuances, what's the step one, step two. I think that's something each and every individual should figure out. But I believe, if you really want to grow a good community and want to do something meaningful and changing, in real life events, and building your own community and hosting something of your own is an absolute game changer. And that's what I've been doing. So if possible, start hosting events. It can be anything. It can be like I said, it can be something in tech. It can be you want to host workshops, do that. You want to host a running group, do that. But do something or the other. When you become a person where you are bringing people together, you start attracting people. Now people come to you instead of you going to them. So I think that's been, I think, especially in the last few months, that's been the biggest game changer for me. The amount of doors that have opened to me because I've been bringing people together and I've been helping them, and I've been, introducing them. Like, let's say, I've introduced a couple of founders to investors and all, and the other way around. And I think that's brought so much value to me. I think it's so great. And overall, yeah, events, like I said, COVID, actually, I'm going to say this, COVID has made us realize, how much we crave being in person, and, how much we crave social interactions. That's why
Mm-hmm.
I feel, these social events are the way to go. And that's a
Mm.
please don't stay in your house. Step out of your house, get out, meet people, changes your life.
Mm. Tell me about your book, man. Before we conclude this podcast, I am really interested into that. Like you told something about the book. What was that?
Oh, this book, yeah, this is actually a 100-year-old book, I guess. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think one of the best books I've read. It's by this author called Dale Carnegie.
Mm.
He wrote this, I think, way back in 1930s or 40s. I'm not sure, but um, it talks about, like the title suggests, how to, win friends, how to make friends, how to have social interactions. And it goes on the basics, like, like the most basic things, like, there's an entire chapter of, how to talk to someone, how to smile and stuff, it's the most basic things. But then you realize, oh, what, and you'll be like, okay, hey, this makes sense. Yeah, obviously, you have to do this, you have to listen, you have to be a good listener. It's like so obvious, but then you realize that, okay, I'm not doing these, right? It's so obvious, it's so basic, but us humans, we are so silly sometimes that we forget our basics. And this book teaches you that and kind of reminds you those things. And I feel it's been an absolute game changer. Like, I've I used to be this completely introverted kid, and back in school and early days of my college, and I was like, what, this should change. So I started doing of course, this book was something I read more like just 2 years ago, but I subconsciously started doing things where, I tried to become more extrovert, try to become outgoing. But after reading this book, I realized, okay, what are the other things that I can do where, I'm attracting people, I'm being so charismatic that people enjoy talking to me. And I feel like every person should read this book, and absolute game changer in terms of, friendships, relationships, how, even you don't know someone, but you end up making a good connection with them. So yeah, I absolutely recommend this book.
Amazing, amazing. So I think that's a wrap for this episode. I personally feel that we learned a lot about entrepreneurship, especially about networking and the impacts of networking around, and startups. We discussed lot about these things, and I believe people are surely going to, take networking seriously, they are surely going to step out of their houses, step out of the comfort zones, and they're surely going to try something out. So thanks a lot, Soumya, for being on our show. Thanks a lot for enlightening our viewers about networking, entrepreneurship, startups, and AI.
Mm.
And I would recommend our viewers to check Context. I'll just put the link in the description of this video.
Yep.
And this was Somya Gupta from New York. Thanks a lot, and we'll surely see you in our couple of videos that we might shoot in the future. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Thank you
Soumya.
for having
It's
me, guys.
fine.
Yeah.
See you.